Hello everyone, it's Alex from Prosperity Finance. I'm here to share with you the best financial tips so that you can be more successful in achieving your financial goals. Today I'm going to talk about different types of deposit sources you can use when buying your next property, and also the evidences that the banks normally ask for each of those types of deposit sources. So the first type, of course, is deposit that you've already paid. So normally when you win an auction or when the sales and purchase agreement becomes unconditional, you have to pay for 5 to 10% of the total sales price. And the bank will ask you for a receipt to show that you've paid for this deposit. Normally you can request a receipt from your solicitor directly. Then the second type of deposit source is more relevant to first home buyers. So that's a home start grant or a KiwiSaver withdrawal for first home. To prove that you have this type of deposit source, a bank will normally ask you for a eligibility letter from either the Kaina Ola, if it's a home start grant, or from your own KiwiSaver provider. And you can get these letters from like both entities or from your KiwiSaver provider directly by applying online. The third type of deposit source is, of course, your own saving. The bank will normally asking for 6 months of bank statements of your saving account to show that you have genuine savings for the past half year. And this is not limited for just New Zealand savings. Of course, you can use overseas savings as well, but the requirements differs from bank to bank. But normally, you will also expect the bank to ask you for 6 months of bank statements from your overseas saving accounts to show that you have genuine savings. And on top of that, you also have to supply evidences of transferring money directly from your overseas saving accounts into your New Zealand account. Then the fourth type of deposit source is either a gift from your family members or as from inherited money. When the source is from gifted money, the bank will normally ask you for a certificate of gift, which need to clearly state the purpose of the gift is for purchasing a property. And also it have to state that the gift is unconditional, there's no interest, and also it's non-refundable. Of course, if it's inherited money, the bank will normally ask you for relevant legal documents which you can get from your own lawyer. The fifth type of deposit source is borrowed money from your close relatives. Yes, you can actually borrow money, but this is very special and not every bank will accept this type of deposit source. If the bank you're applying your home loan for can accept this kind of deposit source, normally they will ask you for a deed of acknowledgement of debt, within which it has to outline the purpose of debt, and also it has to be interest-free, and also it has to have very specific repayment conditions. Then the fifth one of the deposit source is sales proceeds of assets. The assets can be either a real estate or it can be other types of assets like car or valuable items. If it's a property that just recently sold, the bank will normally ask you for a sales purchase agreement, and also you need to provide them with your bank bank statements to show that the sales proceeds being deposited into your bank accounts. Lastly, we can also use equity in your existing property as deposits. In this case, there's a potential that it will allow you to buy your next property with 100% borrowing, so you don't have to actually put any cash into the purchase. But this is because it's a little bit complicated and it's really just deserve another video to talk about it. Okay, so that's basically the 7 types of deposit sources that people normally use and the bank normally accepts when buying your next property. And hopefully you find it's interesting and also helpful. I will see you next time.